Like you, I often see those photos and videos in my social feeds of elderly people holding up those signs with advice and wisdom they'd be giving their younger selves. Slow down and take time to be with people are two common pieces of advice. Let's see what we can learn from their insights before we're the ones dispensing advice in the same way. Yuma, I'm Phil McAuliffe. I'm the loneliness guy. And this is a Connection Espresso, a mini episode of my podcast designed to give your mind, your heart, and your soul a quick connection boost as you, a beautiful gay man experiencing loneliness, go about your day. Let's get to it. Hello, welcome to this episode. And I feel that you know what I'm talking about. Those people, those elderly people in nursing homes who have like dry erase boards or pieces of paper with, their age and, where they are and advice that they'd give to their younger selves. They're pretty poignant. And I think there's some wisdom in there that I feel will really serve us, whether or not we are elderly, whether we feel that we are, and whether or not we want to be elderly in the future. I think there's some wisdom that's really going to help and serve you. I'm really glad you're here. I hope you're going well. Like every episode, this Connection Espresso comes to you from Canberra, Australia's capital city, which sits on the traditional land of the Ngunnawal and Ngambri peoples. I want to first pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging, and acknowledge them as the traditional custodians of the land upon which this episode was recorded, edited, and uploaded. I also want to extend that acknowledgement to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples listening, and indeed all First Nations peoples listening wherever you are in the world. Secondly, I want to recognise the courage you've shown in pressing play on this episode, whether you've pressed play on YouTube or on the podcast. Because let's be honest, you don't go looking for content on loneliness unless you recognise that you're feeling lonely. This can feel like a big step, and I want to say that I see you and I recognize your courage, and I think you're pretty awesome. The inspiration for this episode came from two sources. Those videos that I mentioned in the intro that are on social media, and from the song 59th Street Bridge from Simon and Garfunkel. You might know it as the Feeling Groovy song. They both feed into something that I say often here at the Loneliness Guy. Busyness kills connection. And I want to explore the concept of how you and I can be so busy that we forget the connection, or that the connection we both need takes time, and we need to invest in that time. It takes time for us to both develop those bonds and ties within ourselves that help us feel connected to our beautiful, weird, wonderful, inspiring self. And it also takes time and persistence to develop and maintain those bonds with those most important to you. And similarly, it takes time, persistence, and frankly, intentions to keep showing up to develop those connective ties that help you feel part of a community. Busyness kills all of that. All the time that you and I spend working kills that. And on work, I know that it can be tougher to make ends meet now than it has been in the past. And you may be working more than you want to so you can keep a roof over your head and food in your belly. And I hope that you're able to get that connection that you need with the people who are around you while you're working those hours to keep your head above water. But I also suspect that you may be working above and beyond what's required by your job. Now, I invite you to really reflect on whether you're choosing busyness and the pursuit of success, whatever success looks like for you, as a way of numbing or avoiding the emotional pain that comes with the thoughts and feelings of loneliness. You're choosing to work rather than sitting a few moments in discomfort to acknowledge and then listen to your loneliness. Whatever your circumstances, one thing is clear: loneliness happens when you and I don't choose, when we don't prioritize connection. And the wisdom of those elderly people on our social media feeds generally give a very clear message: prioritize connection, because you never know when you'll be gone or the people around you will be gone. And I'm genuinely confused why we, as a society, I'm speaking, in terms of as a wider society here, why we praise and chase busyness. We respect those who are busy. We reward busyness. We think that the people who answer the question, how are you, with busy, are like, operating on some higher plane that puts them, over and above us. It just seems so wrong to me. And I'm not like as pure as a driven snow here. I'm guilty of this all the time. But busyness is the antithesis of what it means to be connected to other humans. Perhaps, I don't know, if we stay so busy, we simply don't have the time to be open and real with ourselves and those around us. Busyness protects us from the thoughts and feelings of our loneliness. Except it really doesn't. It doesn't protect us, even though we try so hard for it to do. But I want to get back to those messages from the elderly nursing home residents that we see on social media. No one of those messages ever said that they wish to spend more time at work, to send more emails, or, generally spend longer at the office. And the messages, especially from the older men, state that they wish that they hadn't spent so much time at work, but they'd spent more time with those most important to them. The success, the recognition, the acclaim that they got during their work life meant very little when they didn't have people around them to share it with. And for those of you who are thinking right now that, I don't have someone in my life because I don't have a spouse, I don't have a boyfriend, I don't have a partner, I don't have a significant other, I want you to sort of expand your awareness a bit. Having people in your life doesn't mean exclusively a significant other. It means friends. It means, people who help you feel seen, or not help you, but when you're around them, you feel seen, you feel heard. And because when you feel seen and when you feel heard, you feel that you belong. And you, in turn, see them, you hear them, and you help them feel that they belong when they're with you too. And that feeling of belonging and wanting to belong is everything. And if you're getting your sense of worth from what you do rather than who you are, then I invite you to slow down and consider how you can begin to reprioritize life, and you can reprioritize or prioritize connection. And don't think for 1 minute that I'm like, I know that you're probably saying, yeah, Phil, that's all well and good for you, but I'm still working this out myself. I've spent so much of my life working, and I still spend so much of my life working that I sometimes feel that I've forgotten how to relax and how to be me. And because not being myself, because I'm not being myself and being with myself, the connection that I have within myself, with those most important to me, so with Jeff and the kids, and my community, sometimes they don't all get the me that everybody deserves. So in the words of Simon and Garfunkel, I'm choosing to slow down because I move too fast. I want to make the moments of life last. I'm looking for fun, and it's time to feel groovy. I'm focusing on how much time I devote to connection in my life. And I invite you to join me because I reckon you could benefit from slowing down, prioritizing connection, feeling a little bit groovier for it too. And that feels like a very vulnerable thing for me to do. And I wonder if that feels the same way for you too. But I know that the connection that I need in my life is on the other side of me being vulnerable. And being vulnerable, we must remember, is always scary. And it takes you and me to the edge of our comfort zones when we do it. But are you ready to slow down and stop moving so fast? Are you ready to also get a little bit groovy in the Simon and Garfunkel sense? Let's do it together, hey? And of course, there's so much to this episode that I could have said, but I'm really keen to find out how you're wanting to reprioritize connection and starve your loneliness that you're feeling. But I need to wrap this up and you need to get on with your day. But what did I miss? What are you doing? Let me know. Send me get in contact with me on socials or by email. Because really the big question is, what price are you paying for staying busy and not prioritizing connection? That's it for this espresso. Be sure to check out all my work and services destigmatizing loneliness and promoting authentic connection for gay men globally. Well, for gay men like you and your friends through my website, thelonelinessguy.com. Please like, comment, and share these episodes on your socials so, we can bump those old ladies off and off social media, not bump them off, rub them out kind of thing. But we just need to, I want so we can reach more gay men. I'm focusing again, reaching more gay men experiencing loneliness and lets them know, just as you now know, that they're not alone when they're experiencing loneliness. Thank you for joining me for this espresso shot. Until next time, take care of yourself, get groovy, yada, and enjoy your day. Thanks, YouTube. I hope you have a lovely day. If you've got any comments, chuck them in you know what I mean, like where you put the comments, including let me know where you are. It's always great to see where you're from. All right, I'll see you later.